Hi, welcome to Star Power Alchemy YouTube. My name is Alejandra Sofia, bringing to you the astrological news from the macrocosm to the microcosm of you, from the viewpoint of me, soul scientist, astrologer. And I'm tuning into the transit of Venus returning to her own sign of Taurus from May 15th, 2019 until June 9th. So 25 days in which she will be recharging herself in her own sign. And I'm going to go through the month and these next 25 days and describe these key points and why this is so significant in this time, in this year of evolution, with all the other powerful transits that are happening. So please check out my other videos in the description to update yourself with new moons, full moons, and other content that I have in there. I'm also featuring other YouTube artists that I'm inspired by that really contribute to our well-being and this great conversation and transformation that is happening on the planet in terms of reclaiming our health and our wholeness. And so that's really an intro to Venus. So let me introduce Venus. Let me invoke Venus and who she is. Venus she is the song we sing. She is the song of our heart. She is the soul of the earth, and she is the gift of our body. She is the gift of life. And so she is the gift of the cosmos, creation, the magic and alchemical amazingness of creation and all the elements and what it's taken to embody. And so she rules the body. She rules the human body. This is her form. And I mean it both for females and males. And though her glyph is the symbol for females, she is the feminine. And what is most feminine in this experience is the body itself. So she is beauty, she is love, she is Mother Nature, she is health, and she is our own deep need inside every human being. As far as I understand it, every human being, if not most, maybe the only human beings I can't include in this category are psychopaths. Born psychopaths who don't have the capacity to empathize and feel things that most people, 99%, do. Which is an interesting number, 99%, 1% that we've heard before at this point. So and so that's not a really new idea anyway about the 99% versus the 1%. So Venus is at this very moment of May 14th, she's ending a story. So there's right now, whoever's as you're listening to this at any time, remembering, this last month and tuning in to the moon, the new moon energies, what has really come forth since the new moon on May 4th, and as well as tuning in to the evolution of your year and all these major changes. I mean, we're constantly in a state of change. We're always going to be in some kind of state of change for the rest of our lives. It's the nature of the universe. It's the bottom line. And there's the going with the flow of it, of okay, I want to be here and I want to be present with life and I want to fill myself up with fulfillment. And that's who Venus is. Venus is your own cup, your own chalice of fulfillment. She does hold desire. She holds longing in her heart, and she holds longing when there's been separation from something. So Venus really wants to reunite. She's like walking into her gardens, and it can be anyone, male or female. Imagine just flying into Hawaii and you're landing there and you're just walking up to this most gorgeous, amazing scene, tropics. It's just it's 85 degrees. It's just that perfect weather. It's sensual. It's exotic. just that feeling of that lands you and brings you ever closer to your own, to these deep stirrings of our own needs to really feel fulfillment and health. And so there's a lot of things that I want to get into in terms of really describing who Venus is on a day-to-day level, and what this journey that she's now taking through back in her home sign of Taurus, and what she wants to create, because there's a real landing. She wants beauty, she wants health, she wants wholeness, she wants nature, she wants to return to what's natural and good and simple. So there's really what feels like a resurgence happening, or personally, how it can be or could be happening in your life, a need for healing, a return to simplicity, things being reduced from your life, you actively reducing things from your life. And this can be happening on all levels. And because we're inside of a Scorpio new moon week, we're all absolutely going through our own experiences and having our own challenges and different levels of catharsis. If you're having any kind of major week of like, whoa, just your reality getting flipped and like disappointments in relationships, or breakthroughs that are piercing the veils of delusion and helping you release yourself from any kind of inner entanglement that has been superimposing itself upon your relationships through projections and just confusion in general. Venus is really coming into the clear right now. And so on May 14th, which is my today right now that I'm filming, and there's a real wrapping up and wanting to finish old stories down to, your diet. Like, look at your diet on all levels. That's Venus. Venus wants to purify herself. She wants to fill herself and her sensual body. And so I'll say it, and when I say she, I mean, I definitely mean it mythically, because I mean it for men and women as human beings. And you see it, and you can watch it in animals. I watch Venus move through my cat, who is taking in, when he sleeps and he's basking in the sun, how much he's taking in the nourishment of the sun. And when he purrs, it's such a deep purr, and it's like the soul of the earth. And so my cat really helps me feel into the sensual body of the earth that we're given as human beings, because that to me is Venus and Taurus. That we want to be surrounded by elements that heal us and bring health. And the word heal is in the word health. So it's actively doing things and shifting things that are helping you access your own wholeness channels, because love really wants to reign. And love is a multidimensional, it's a really dynamic energy. It's not just a emotional feeling, but what we put into our diet, our daily diet, from the things we're listening to, the things we're watching, the things we're saying, the things we're feeling, that what we're wearing on our clothes, the foods we're eating, contribute to our emotional state. So Venus's desire, her longing, her inner knowing, her intelligence is her own innate connection of filling herself up with love. And she innately knows self-worth. She doesn't think self-worth. She's not working on self-worth. She's innately just is self-worth. She's a receptacle chamber vessel for chalice for to receive all the goodness that's really possible in this world, in this realm. And so the essential thing of how Venus functions in the person, in our own individuality is, and she functions in different ways, because Venus does take a journey through the 12 signs. So in terms of your birth chart, in all of our birth charts, like everyone has Venus in a different house placement, different degree, and there's just 12 different options for what sign she's in. So so with Venus returning to Taurus right now, wherever that's happening in your chart, you always still have your Venus and the ways in which you're charmed by life, the things that call you, the things that, because she is a social charmer, and she does seek pleasures. She's such a pleasure seeker. And so right now there's a real grounding into long lasting, like the wiser aspects of Venus is, and maturing these aspects of Venus is really kind of coming home to yourself, coming home to oneself, and being wiser about what you're choosing, because this separation from things that are just continuing to drain you and de-energize you, that's when Venus's energy becomes deflated. And so it's harder to love yourself and care for yourself. So she's really coming in in these 25 days, use this time and all the aspects that she's going to be making in this month of this new moon month of Taurus to really simplify your life, chill out, cool down, whatever it is, just make yourself purr, make yourself, just really shift things. Diet is super essential, and take care of your body in ways that your body needs to be taken care of. So it could be, it's all the polarity. So it could be, you need to start doing more exercises that are that are going to help you feel more pleasure, and so doing more aerobic exercise so the resting can feel even better, and doing things that really engage a more holistic, just more connection to yourself, and beautifying your environment, beautifying yourself, maybe buying new products that make you feel good and are natural and chemical free and good for healthy for the planet. So that's also Venus's, her return to her homeland, her own return to her desire to be like, I'm tired of living in an artificial world. I need things I need to be outside more. It's, this is her month of, May, and, in terms of spring, and it's full, and there's fragrance, and yes, there's also pollen, but, so it's easier to be outside, especially in the more northern regions and, eastern regions. It's just, you can feel Venus in all the flower blooms and the quality of the sun, and this desire to connect more with the outside. And so bringing that into your home space, bringing that into your diet, cleaning up your diet, bringing more green foods, finding foods that heal you and restore you, get more sleep, reduce technology, reduce cell phone time, reduce things that are de-energizing you, and then also increase things that energize you. And because she's coming in to rebalance things. She's a rebalancer. She's coming in, she's a harmonizer. So, and she's also helping to really bring things home to what's important and what's valuable. So she's tapping into origins. Like, what is most important living on Earth? What's this life? What's the most fulfilling? And inevitably it's going to come down to, caring for yourself and eating good food, but the people you're spending time with and how you're spending time with. And she's very tribal in that way. And so, and how you're spending time together. Like, is there just too much talking happening, or is there creativity happening? Is there music? Is there dance? She's definitely a connector to, joy and pleasure, and she's the key to that. And so loving yourself, caring for yourself, that is loving yourself, and also doing the things you have to do to care for yourself. So developing the self-discipline and follow through, and really bumping up your self-love and self-care, and also in the ways of caring for each other as well. So, because she's a deep well of your heart and she really wants fulfillment. She's keys to what makes you thrive. And so it's also very personal for you, because what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. All of us, our diet, because of body types, and place I like to go for information is through Ayurveda, which is a holistic. It is a holistic science of how to live a life of health and longevity that comes from India, and is really provides a ancient wisdom perspective, and in terms of how to turn to ourselves uniquely, because we're not all the same. And so the different body types, the different needs that we have, and really learning to really giving to ourselves and plumping, because there's a plumping aspect to Venus. That's what I feel is like. She wants to plump up the areas that need to get plumped up. You know, she wants to, I know that sounds funny, but it's like, it is this, because it's that fulfilling, it's a filling place. And so cleaning out too. So again, that reduction, the things that need to get reduced so that you can feel your energy smoother and cleaner, and again, getting more sleep, also getting up early, doing things that do help you feel beautiful and energized. And so take this time out with Saturn and Pluto retrograde and these aspects that she's going to eventually make with them. But take this time of the next 25 days to just feel what's most important to you. Let your heart speak to you. She's the key to your heart. She's to help you restructure your reality based on what's valuable to you, based on what's important to you. And there's common things that we all value. Most of us really do value family and relationships. But then there's other things, like the things that you love, like, wanting the activities that are personal to you, that are really needed for you to thrive and fulfill yourself. And I do believe that movement and music and dance and singing, Venus being in the sign of Taurus, open up, and courage up as well. If you don't consider yourself a singer, I really believe that we're all singers. I think as human beings that we have these amazing instruments, and that with practice and with gaining more confidence, and most importantly, it's enjoyment. And that is who Venus is. She's the pleasure factor, but it's about reducing instant gratification, short-term pleasure, and increasing long-term pleasure. So there is the more sustainable activities and foods and nourishment that need to be turned towards, that have to be that are what she wants to increase for long-term health, long-term benefits, and sustainable joy, to even out these ups and downs and reduce drama, and really clear your channels. And so just to really briefly go through the month of these next 25 days, Venus moves in on May 15th to the sign of Taurus. And so there's going to be a feeling, looking back, if you're looking back now, the 14th and 15th, and just that there's a releasing something. We're releasing something, things that we're done with, because again, that's a theme very much this year of ending old stories. And it's really a story of not loving yourself. So not loving yourself, being clear, stepping up in new ways to care for yourself and the things that are important to you. And with Venus moving into Taurus on May 15th, one of the first things that's inside of this full moon, May 17th, May 18th, she makes on this weekend of the full moon in Scorpio, 28 degrees Scorpio, Venus comes into a conjunction with Uranus. So there's it just feels like things are coming into the clear in a new way, that are helping to land, and sort of landing on the earth, landing in what's important, landing in what's valuable, but feeling something kind of opening up and blossoming inside. That's what that feels like with the Venus conjunct Uranus, of like, even maybe things you've been working on, things that you've been trying to get to in your things that you didn't understand or comprehend, like these, it just feels like, that's so clear now. Now I'm clear, and this is what I value most, or, and the healing that's coming through the 29 degrees Scorpio full moon. Something's being illuminated in your emotional psychology. Doesn't matter where that's happening in your chart personally, because we have 12 different areas of life in which that the full moon in Taurus would be illuminating. That Scorpio is an emotional, psychological, deep sign that has in it a complexity and something something is being illuminated. So there's a real, again, we're coming back to simplicity, the simplicity of self-discovery, of something getting illuminated in you, something in you just pushing through, however that's coming through for you, that feels like just really healing and potentially. And that's just making it even stronger with Venus coming, with Venus being the ruler of this month, coming into an exact conjunction with Uranus on the weekend of this full moon. And on the day of the full moon, Venus and Uranus will still be in the same degree. So big weekend, May 17th and 18th. Again, just continuing to remember the basic nature of Venus is I want love, I want pleasure, I want beauty, I want health, I want wholeness. And restructuring, reconnecting with what you value, what's most important, that your energy is valuable, who you spend your time with is valuable, how you're spending your energy is valuable, caring for yourself is valuable, how you're expressing your love for yourself and others in the world is valuable. Because she is, so then she continues as she's continuing on her journey in Taurus. And the next major aspect she makes is on May 26th. And that May 26th, it's not an aspect actually, she's reaching mid-Taurus, and that's the same degree of the new moon. So there's just something there. If you, at that time, whenever you're listening to this, just feel whatever it is that you're processing or have been processing, and this return to what's valuable, simplicity, getting, the increase of wholeness, grounding into what's important, bringing music into your life, because music is it really is one of the essentials. It's one of the essentials. Food is important, water is important, shelter is important, music is important, just tribal ways of gathering together. And you allow, because again, Venus is the song, Venus is your instrument, she's harmony, she's your own innate spiritual soul urge to harmonize with nature and the universe and to really enjoy your experience. And as you're continuing to, if you're working on your emotional body and your psychology and clearing out these old channels, it's because you want to sing with the earth. You want to sing and experience and love and feel and make a difference to your life as you're making a difference to life on earth. And really, she's the key to your own fulfillment and fulfilling these deep desires. And so understanding the basic essentials of living life on earth, music is a part of it. Movement is a part of it. Dancing is a part of it. There was a time in which that was just the way it was. People gathered together, sang together, played instruments together, danced together. It was just daily life, or just, it was regular. It was routine. It wasn't, oh, these people do that, and it's just, it's as compartmentalized as it is now. And so there's a real need to return to what's basic and good, to reestablish old traditional ancient wisdom values. So May 26th, and so just remembering that about the May 26th, there's this return. She's returning to the new moon degree. So it just feels like things are really kind of connecting. There's connections being made, and the restructuring of what's important. May 28th, the next most important day, Venus is making a semi-sextile to Mercury. So it feels like, because Mercury's in Gemini, they're going to be in Venus and Taurus, Mercury and Gemini, 30 degrees away from each other. It feels like there's a communicating things. There's so many different ways for Mercury to communicate. So maybe you're deciding to start a podcast, or there's just ways in which, because Mercury in Gemini absolutely needs to communicate and get out there and share ideas. There's some sharing ideas of your health, of your wellness, of coming out into your community, writing poetry, whatever that is, just there's something there on that day of May 28th. May 30th, Venus sextiles Neptune and sextiles the North Node. So there's a trine in water between Neptune and the North Node. And then Venus comes in to sextile both of them. So that's a powerful day, May 30th. So these are all the energies that are building throughout these next 25 days. So there really feels like that's just landing, those kinds of aspects. It's a real landing into what's important and what's essential for you to live a soulful life and connection to yourself. So really connecting into your dreams and what you value, what you love, and who you are, and up leveling yourself in the ways of you're beautifying yourself in new ways. You're buying new hair. I mean, there's so many different ways that Venus could be expressing herself, but definitely feeling the things that you put on your clothes and in your body, the kinds of clothes you put on your body, and changing your attire, changing the way you feel through what you put on every day, and throwing clothes out. That's things that need to go, and that really don't make you feel good about yourself. So it's really, again, more of this fine tuning to what makes you feel good, and to remember your dream, and to really believe in yourself and fill yourself from the inside out, because Venus is the deep inside. Venus is your innate inside, and it's time to release all those. It's just releasing all those old stories around that you're not worthy. It's just that's got to get done. And this is such a great month to just keep wrapping it up by swathing yourself in things that you deserve, and also contributing to your greater body, your greater body, your field, the nervous system of your family and friends and your community, touching each other more, hugging more. Just touching is Taurus. And so there's just this need to feel and appreciate and smell and listen, and really just cut out things that are just keeping you from staying in too much of a agitated state, and just have better eye contact with relationships. Really listen. Don't have yourself listen to more deeply in conversations. Cut out things if we live in a world of that cell phones are everywhere, and it really does feel like things have got to change with how we are relating to each other with cell phones, and so how your own personal relationship with cell phones, and creating rules around how you're using your time and what you're allowed to do in ways that are beneficial to you and your health. Maybe no cell phones at your dinner table, no cell phones, no looking at your cell phone while you're eating, no, just those kinds of rules of just really cutting out distractionary habits, and just becoming more healthy, more healthy. And so just to wrap this up, I've got 2 more minutes. Venus makes a trine to Saturn in Capricorn, and then also makes a trine to Pluto towards the end of the month, May 31st. So that's just a real power. It just feels like things are really landing. This is just such a great opportunity to come home to yourself and make the shifts that you need to make in your everyday reality, with really organizing what's most important and bringing more beauty in your life, and whatever that means for you, bringing more beauty, pleasure, long-term pleasure. So reducing the things and getting those things out of your life that are just short-term pleasure and really aren't that healthy anyway, and to maximize long-term pleasure, health, and feelings of wholeness, and creating more calm, more contentment, engaging. So it's really about engaging your parasympathetic nervous system. And
with the June 3rd, we have the new moon in Gemini, and Venus is going to be in Taurus for that chart. So there really is going to be a feeling of Venus and Taurus resonating through the next month of the next lunar wave spell, when the next new moon seeds on June 3rd until July. So there's going to be a strong feeling of Venus and Taurus from May 15th until July 3rd, but Venus will actually only be in Taurus from May 15th until June 3rd. So this is just like, it is a new way in which we're landing in ourselves and in our cells to just ground in, feel, and be alive in this body and take advantage of this opportunity we have, and don't take things for granted. So that's also who she is. She's gratitude. She's what fills your cup up, what makes you feel good, and to help you abolish these negative ways of being that are taking you away from not appreciating your life. So it really is about a development of you granting yourself your wishes and not taking yourself for granted, not taking your body for granted, not taking these moments that are being lived, that are clicking away in the present moment, to really open up, land, ground, and feel, so that you can gain presence and feel. So the more you engage your sensual body, the more you will come into presence. So with that, enjoy, fill yourself up, fill your cup, your vessel with good things, good foods, good ideas, healthy ideas, and trust yourself, trust your intuition, listen to yourself, listen to your heart. And there we go. So sending you all much love. Please subscribe to my channel. Reach out to me for readings at starpoweralchemy@gmail.com. Until the next time, enjoy.